The following is an archived interview originally conducted by Julius B. Chatton. This interview was aired on KFCF 88.1 FM, Free Speech Radio for Central California. For more details, please visit kfcf.org. Yes, our next guest is a HBCU alumni, Morehouse College Alumni, I should say, Ryan Léon. Ryan, are you with us?
Yes, I am with you tonight. How's it going, everyone?
All right, it's
wonderful,
going good.
Wonderful. Good to have you.
Thank you for coming in a pinch for me. I appreciate it.
Hey, we got to look out for each other, you know?
Absolutely.
All right, I like that. Julius, you always seem to have friends that get your back.
Yeah.
I've noticed that.
That's one of the benefits of being Julius. You know, I apologize. That's just the way it is.
That's all right, Julius. We'll let you be Julius.
Yes, thank you.
Wonderful.
All right, I believe you have a question for Mr. Léon.
Well, you know what? This is, again, one of my areas that I have dear to my heart. I have such deep respect for students who have gone through our HBCUs, our historical black colleges and university. So, young man, I have a question for you. What influences does attending a HBCU, an historical black college or university, have on your current world's view of self-image?
Well, I really believe that it has an overall positive effect on one's self-image. When you go to an HBCU, they have an excellent support system. So, you know, they tell you you can do anything that you really, put your mind to if you really apply yourself. Mm-hmm. And we will help you get there in any way possible. You just let us know and we'll do what we can. They let you know that you can do anything. You have the support there, but they also tell you, hey, there are hurdles. Some people will try to get in your way, but you know what? If you're that excellent, no one will be able to turn you down. You can't turn down that intellectual capital if you develop it properly.
Wow. Ooh, I like that phrase.
That was good.
That was good. Mm-hmm.
And in terms of worldview, like I said, they recognize that not everything is fair. The playing field isn't necessarily fair. So, one, you can't get discouraged if things don't necessarily go your way, first of all, but, they make you strong enough to overcome that sort of thing. I want to say maybe a lot of people might envision that, you're sort of taught that everyone else is against you, but it's not so much that as it is you can do anything, and just people in general might, provide obstacles. Mm-hmm. So, that's, I think, one of the main benefits of going to HBCU. And Morehouse especially is very global, so they encourage you to go to study abroad programs where you can see outside of this American sort of perspective of, what African Americans can do. They encourage global leadership, so that's something that I really liked about going to HBCU.
Mm-hmm.
In an HBCU environment, does Black History Month serve the same purpose it does to the general public as a reminder of the black accomplishments that have been made, or is it awareness of black history integrated into every aspect of the HBCU experience year-round?
I would definitely say it's integrated year-round. Every month is Black History Month. One thing that Morehouse and Spelman do is that they have these things called Crown Forum and what is it? I forgot what they call it. But they have these sort of forums where they'll invite maybe alumni or just prominent people in the African American community that are successful. Mm. They'll bring them to speak, and basically most of the student body goes. Students have to attend 6 semesters out of the 8 semesters that they're going to be there. Mm. So while you're there, you really absorb a lot of information from people that have made it, from people that know what it's like outside of, the supportive environment you have there in HBCUs. And so when you have that sort of thing going on every week, and you have all of these clubs that do community service on the regular, when you have these sort of discussions was going on all the time. Like even in your regular classes, you guys might sort of go off on a tangent and, talk about Black history or accomplishments that people have made. So, all of that is sort of woven into the education that you get there on a daily basis. And, of course, that's not to say that they don't do particular things during Black History Month, but it's definitely present throughout the year. And I can definitely tell you what things are like on both sides of the coin, because I'm actually at the University of Michigan right now, and so I'm working on my second bachelor's in nuclear engineering. And
oh wow!
Congratulations! So thank you. So I've seen how HBCUs are, and I'm at TWI right now, and so there's a ton of people here, and they're all learning, they're all doing their thing, but Morehouse is much more smaller. You have a community, so the teachers there really, they get to know you. They'll sort of, take you under their wing. You can do research with them, really get to know them, and, try to emulate them, really. And, that's something that you can do, of course, at a TWI. But, it's, when you have, 100 people in your class, it's not as easy,
Right.
Hi, this is Willow. How are you, sir?
Well, how's it going? I'm doing great.
Real good. I'm listening to you, and I my brother went to Howard University, right? And what I found out when I walked on Howard's campus was Black pride, the sense that you were a part of something huge, And I really got a kick out of that. I wish I could have been more into education where I would have went to a black school, How do you respond to HBCU critics who claim that the idea of cultural Pacific education systems are a form of reverse racism?
Well, the way I look at that is I kind of see them looking through the lens the wrong way. I see it as taking a group that doesn't have as many advantages and trying to provide an extra sort of net or, support system for them, as opposed to, sort of leaving other people out intentionally. Morehouse is a private institution, so of course they can, run their educational program the way they want. However, it is open to everybody.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you that. Is it open to other races or people, because the way you hear the media make it sound is like, it's...
No. Those HBCUs are open to everyone.
Everyone.
They are designed, they're coming out of the reparations from the civil rights movement.
Right. Other races where the other white race was saying, that's reverse discrimination. Now you're discriminating against me and
there
stuff.
was nowhere for black folks to go.
Yeah.
So they had to develop their own institutions.
And I can't go there because it's the black college, but yet you can go there.
Yeah, so, I don't know this personally, but I would actually like to see how many applications from, non-African Americans that they get, because I personally just think that, maybe white or other sort of families, they might think that, the PWIs provide a better education for them, or, just maybe that culture that's already there in the school is not comfortable for them, because you want to be comfortable at college.
Yeah.
But, that may not be something that they're used to, and, so therefore they go to PWIs. But the thing is, we're not keeping you out. There's no rule saying you cannot come.
Right.
Because there are white students there, and there are Asian students there. So
right, exactly. You get a large international base that comes into our HBCUs as well. So I think it's a wonderful experience for students to go. It's learning your culture, being strong in that, but also learning about somebody else's culture.
Another issue that or topic of discussion I'd like to bring up is that Michelle Alexander, she's the author of the book entitled The New Jim Crow, Mass Incarceration in the Age of Color Blindness. Now, during her guest appearance last spring at the Sacramento area Black Caucus, Michelle stated that, quote, "We use our criminal justice system to label people criminals and then engage in all of the practices we supposedly left behind. Today, it is perfectly legal to discriminate against criminals in nearly all the ways it was once legal to discriminate against African Americans. Once you're labeled a felon, the old forms of discrimination, employment discrimination, housing discrimination, denial of the right to vote, exclusion from jury service, are all suddenly legal. As a criminal, you have scarcely more rights and arguably less respect than a black man living in Alabama at the height of Jim Crow. We have not ended racial caste in America. We have merely reassigned it." And so with that, I wanted to find out if, Ryan, if you're, in your opinion, do you believe that elements of the criminal justice system target or profile certain ethnic groups, inevitably producing another generation of oppression?
I think that's a really good insight. I've never thought about it that way, but the question I ask is, or can you really blame the criminal justice system in and of itself? Because who appoints the judges? Who makes the laws? How do those people get into power? So to me, it sort of comes full circle. You have the politicians that are making the laws. You have the money in politics that's really entrenching, I guess, or entrenching certain groups, that might want to discriminate against African Americans into the power system, and thereby you can sort of make it easier to get judges and things and label more African Americans as criminals. But to specifically just say, hey, the justice system is wrong, is maybe an incomplete picture.
Good point. Well, I've never quite heard it put that way before. That's true.
So I guess this ties into the importance of voting, being able to make laws and vote on legislation that will really be for our benefit and not the benefit of lining other people's pockets, politicians, etc.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely voting is a key issue in our community. People, and not even just voting for president, people have to realize that the votes for Congress are so important.
Absolutely.
Explain a little bit more on that, young man.
So, a lot of people really expect a president to be able to sort of lay down the law and, tell how the country is going to be run, and everybody just kind of follows suit. But, in reality, Congress, so your senators, your U.S. representatives, they're the ones that make and vote on the laws of the land. And, of course, you have your state representatives, such and so forth. And those people are the ones that actually impact probably the community on a grassroots level more so than the president. The president can't do it all by himself. He can tell his party, hey, this is a good bill I want to push. But the people in his party have to write it up and, get the Republicans or the Democrats or whomever to vote for it. So it's really Congress and your state legislature, what have you, that really, really affect people on grassroots level. But, they don't, it's not a big event, it's not like the Super Bowl, it's kind of like those little, it's those little baseball games and basketball games that you might not watch, but, you'll definitely watch the finals. So, every little bit counts, and you have to pay attention and be active and be aware of what's going on.
It's a pretty good analogy.
Very good. Very good.
In spite of the civil rights progressions we still strive to achieve in this country, we as a nation still offer more rights to our citizens than many of the other developed nations in Asia, Eastern Europe, the Middle East, and portions of Africa. During your time spent in France last year, did you return to America with a deeper appreciation for your original citizenship?
Well, that, Julius, is kind of tough to say because I did spend 2 months there.
Oh, okay.
And, but, it's kind of hard to get a true feel for it in just 2 months. But
I can imagine.
One of the things that really struck me was the amount of, I guess, dark-skinned minorities sort of in poverty. Yeah, definitely in poverty in Paris. So I worked in Paris, and, if you go to the Eiffel Tower or sort of any of the big landmarks, there are vendors, trying to sell you sort of full Eiffel Tower trinkets and things like that. And all of them are probably African or maybe Arabic in a way. I did not see one sort of light-skinned person trying to sell, these sort of wares. And to me, that sort of signals like maybe that government isn't doing enough to sort of help those people out of poverty, give them more opportunities. Mm-hmm. I mean, of course, in America, there are some pipelines, but are there enough? I don't think so. We have a lot of people that are stuck in the vicious cycle, when you start off in that low socioeconomic status and neighborhood, you can't get access to the things that you need to be successful. Mm-hmm. So
that makes perfect sense. Maybe there's a class system going on in Europe, in Paris. I know Dr. Kennedy spoke of that before.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
Mm-hmm. So that probably plays a role as well. I thank you very much for being able to join us this evening. Any final thoughts that you might want to share on the civil rights movement and some of the progressions you feel that we should make, in this country that we still have yet to make?
I think we have to get the young generation involved, my generation. I think there is a little bit of a sense that there's too much of a feeling of entitlement. We, of course, didn't have to struggle for basic things that we now enjoy, like our parents and grandparents did. And so, I was kind of looking at the Occupy Wall Street movement, saying, maybe this is our struggle generation, maybe, but I don't know, that kind of sort of got watered out by now. So I don't know, I think there are strides to go because, there shouldn't be a need for a lot of the support groups to get, our people out of low socioeconomic status. There shouldn't be we shouldn't have to have those things. We should all sort of be on the same playing field, ideally. And we're not there yet, but people have got a little too complacent. And so we need a little bit of fire under our feet or something like that. And I don't know, maybe you guys can help me think of a way to light it up or something.
Well, I think we all have our heads put together in terms of this whole civil rights issue. It's a growing epidemic. We've got, movements going on. We just had Prop 8 overturned today. There's a lot of things, progressions that are being made, but it's only the beginning. And, I think it takes people like Ryan and I to make a change, a difference. For the better, and I definitely feel, that we all have something to contribute, regardless of our socioeconomic class or our background, with religion or our culture. I thank you very much for joining us this evening.
It was an honor being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to this archived interview, originally broadcast on KFCF 88.1 FM. For more information on free speech radio in Central California, visit kfcf.org. This has been a Julius Chatton production.